Right. So why should you hire a virtual assistant? Okay. So there's three things that I really want to cover on this slide here. The first one is cost effective, right? And when you work with a virtual assistant program like what we have in terms of the infrastructure of it, it's incredibly cost effective, especially comparing it to hiring somebody stateside and hiring somebody in your own backyard, right? Um, and oftentimes, you can get quality of work that is on par to anything you could find here, right? So it's high quality of work, but it's cost effective. So it reduces your overhead costs by eliminating the need for physical office space and full-time salaries. Okay, the scalability. Virtual staffing is much easier to scale than US staffing. I mean, look at our organization as an example, right? Like, we usually have under 10 people on staff that's in the United States at any given time in the company. We have well over 200 virtual staff members for the organization as a whole, right? So we are really exhibit A in that department. And then, of course, you free up your time. It allows you to focus on things that are higher priority tasks while virtual assistants handle routine operations. This is really how you're going to grow. If you are in a position, and some of you guys might have seen my Facebook post from last night, if you were in the position that I was in 2018, where I was literally doing everything, some people say they look good in a certain hat or something like that. I look good in no hats because I was wearing 5 or 6 at the same time. They don't go together. They don't blend. But it's true. It's true. Like, I was in a situation where I felt like I was getting buried in my business and I wasn't growing. It stopped being fun for me. The growth stopped being fun for me. So I mentioned in the post, I had a couple people reach out to me in Messenger and they said, did you really almost sell your business? And I don't know what you classify as almost, but I did have a conversation with somebody about it. I don't think I've ever told anybody about that. I don't know if I even told Glenn about that.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I think we had talked about the struggles for sure. Like, I knew you had struggled as an individual because, before we even merged, that was something we talked about all the time. But yeah, I had no idea it was that you were that far down the road.
Yeah, this might have even been before we actually met too. Like, it was worse, in that situation, because that was truly me alone. I was truly me alone, right? So, and how many of you guys can relate to what I'm about to say, right? How many of you guys can relate to, you are sales, you are accounting, you are customer service, you are fill in the blank. You are fill in the blank, right? A lot of you can probably emphasize with that. And when you have that situation, if you don't have any clients, it's fine, and you really have to start that way. But when you actually have a business, the business stops growing. It gets to a point where it stops growing and you're working harder than ever just to keep the business in place that you built. So it frees up your time, allows you to spend the time on things that you need to spend time on to continue to grow. So what can a virtual assistant do for you? I think there's a multitude of things that a virtual assistant can do for you. What I wanted to start off on this part with was kind of cover a couple of things that we're using virtual assistants for internally in the agency right now. And then after that, I'm going to pass the mic over to Glenn, and he can talk about kind of what we're seeing with clients for Hire Heroes that are using virtual assistants. So for us internally, right, what are we using VAs in? There's a multitude of VAs that are working in the agency now on the day-to-day procedures. Just to kind of give you a couple of examples, the most common one you're going to hear about is, well, my VA is helping me with data entry. My VA is helping me with reporting. My VA is helping me check commissions. My VA is helping me organize my CRM, right? All of these things are great examples of what a VA can do for you. But people say, can my VA do anything customer service related though? Does it all have to be behind the scenes? Well, we have a team internally for customer service that's in the office, but we also have VAs that are helping in that department as well. You know, they're answering phones, they're ordering ID cards, they're taking messages, they're scheduling appointments, and a multitude of other things in addition to that. And the VA is going to be capable of doing those things if you provide the resources to train them on how to do them in the structure, which we're going to get to later in the presentation. In addition to that, we have a VA that's handling a lot of our social media pages. I had a call with an agent this morning that said, I just added you on LinkedIn. I'm like, well, I never look at it, but my VA does, and they'll accept you probably today, you know, so, you know,
I love it.
That's a great example, right? And, you know, people message all the time. They think they're speaking to me and they're not. They're speaking to a VA. And, you know, they'll take messages, they'll schedule appointments, they'll sort through items where I'm getting spammed. I mean, how many of you are getting spammed on LinkedIn every day and you're actually wasting your time reading those messages? Yikes. In addition to that, right? Scheduling appointments. If any of you have gotten on a call with me lately, you probably have noticed I don't set that up. I don't even know what my schedule is. I didn't even know what I was doing today. I'm like, oh, I'm here. I have to do this training with Glenn. I don't even handle my own schedule anymore. I have a VA schedule handle that. And the VA schedules my appointments for me and gets everything coordinated with the person that we're scheduling the appointments with, right? We have a VA right now that's being introduced into our contracting department. We have a great contracting department, but we have a VA coming in to kind of help with that. And they actually requested a couple of contracts to be sent out this morning. You know, so there is no limit to what the virtual assistant can do to help you in your business. It all has to do with what you can imagine they can do, right?
Yes.
Like you have to kind of use your imagination with it. But those are some items that right now virtual assistants are doing within CBIS.